Good morning, Frederick County and Winchester. This is Dana B and Charlie M. We are the 3%. We know that our buddy Scott can't be here today because he's getting his dryer fixed. We want to make sure that Scott has dry clothes and we don't want him hanging out on the line. Okay. But we're going to
We
have a
didn't
little
hang
bit of
him out on the line.
we're not going to hang Scott out on the line. But we've been watching a lot of the things that are going on, especially with the government shutdown and watching what's happened over the last 20 years and healthcare, which are three major topics. We're not going to cover immigration today. We're not going to cover some of that stuff, but we have some ideas that we wanted to pass through, and we want your responses on this as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Charlie, and we're going to talk today a little bit about, like I said, the government shutdown, a color revolution that we see that's actually happening here, and the ACA, and some of the thoughts that we might be able to help deduce here in the Shenandoah Valley. So, Charlie, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thanks for always joining me on this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for doing this, Dana
Hmm.
and Barbara. Um, First off, I didn't know what a color revolution was several years ago, well, probably a decade ago, until Glenn Beck started talking about it. And he went to one of his famous blackboards that
The
he just
whiteboard with the
diagrams everything.
woo,
Yeah, yeah, and I think those are a treasure. Um,
yeah,
that that kind of gives you a peek behind the curtain. And Glenn Beck is good at rooting out all of that stuff and figuring it out. But there is um, this came to the fore again with the No Kings demonstrations recently. The fact that there are billionaires behind that funding the No Kings
trying to change the
demonstration.
government.
Yeah, that one weekend, what was it last weekend
Yep.
or the weekend before, where they had a nationwide King's demonstration. It turns out that was financially supported by George Soros and his Open Society Action Fund.
Mhm.
It was also supported by Ford Foundation,
Mhm.
Rockefeller Foundation,
Like
something
Ford,
called,
like you drive the Ford,
yeah,
folks.
yeah, exactly. And something called Arabella,
Arabella.
Arabella Advisors,
Mhm.
and Bill and Melinda Gates. So there's those are the suspects or the definite proof of what went on. And they contributed about $9 to $10 million for that weekend demonstration.
And those people, Charlie, didn't even know. Most of them had absolutely no idea why they were out there. And a lot of those folks go from city to city to city. All they do is change costumes so they can be Antifa, they can be BLM, they can be whatever you want them to be. And they bus them from place to place. And the term that people are using is Q-tip. And a Q-tip is an older white person with gray hair. So these are people out there, they can't even answer why they're out there, but they're paid contributors to the demise of this country.
Yeah, and I think they're
It's
called the
sick.
Riot Inc.
Mm-hmm.
is sort of an umbrella that this is operating under. But I listened to Glenn Beck again just a few days ago, and he linked this to the color revolution. And the color revolution was something it turns out the CIA picked up on.
They start the
Um,
color revolutions.
they took advantage of it.
Do your research.
I just asked Rock what is a color revolution, and it said it's a series of non-violent or sometimes escalating to violent protest movement.
Mhm.
Well, actually, and he also said it, not he,
Mhm. Depends on
it,
the voice you get.
Mr. Grok,
Uh,
uh, said that these color revolutions became prominent in the Soviet Union during the early 2000s, and that it offered a symbolic color. It has nothing to do with racial color. So that symbolic color was for example, the Rose Revolution in Georgia in 2003, the Orange Revolution in Ukraine in 2004, the Tulip Revolution in Kyrgyzstan in 2005, all of the Arab Spring revolutions use the same tactics. Now, who did the Arab Spring revolutions? The CIA.
Mhm.
The CIA brought that technique into use to change, to not overthrow the government, but to
Change it.
rearrange the government,
Change it.
rearrange the power, and put it in the hands of those whom they want it to be in their hands, not to take it over for themselves, but to change the landscape.
To their benefit, for deep state benefit.
Yeah, yeah.
They did it
So
in Ukraine, Charlie. We watched this with
that's right.
Victoria Nuland. We watched this with Obama. We watched $1.5 billion go across in cash. I mean, these guys are funding revolutions all over the world, and they're doing it here now. I'm just going to back up a little bit and say, with this color revolution, they never thought that Hillary would lose. The idea of a 20-year plan, was a 16-year plan, was to put Obama in, backed by Soros and those clowns, and then he would take care of the first part of the 16 years, and then Hillary would come in and take care of the next 8 years, and they would sell us out and completely destroy the United States of America. They did not bank on Trump, and that's
Let me
where we
let
are
me
now.
right. Let me put this in context of the steps
Please.
that they go through in a color revolution. There's 6 steps. The first step is to flood the streets with organic protesters. Organic in quotes, because the no kings, all of that stuff is funded. They're flooding the streets with supposedly organic protesters. Number 2, they control the media and the narrative. Well,
Mockingbird Media. Look it up.
they've been doing that for years and building up to a point where they can activate it and count on it. And pretty much today they can count on it
And they
because,
lie about everything that's going on. It's all made up bull hockey garbage.
well,
Turn the news off, people.
it's worse than that. It's the power of the mainstream media, any media, but the mainstream in particular, is the power of omission. The fact that they have omitted what's going on in their news cycles is the part of their controlling the narrative, or is controlling it. So that's step 2.
Hey, Charlie, go back to the media for a second, because a lot
Yeah.
of people don't realize this, but that's a lot of CIA trained people. They know what to ask, how to ask it, all of that. So we're being led down and it led down uh, a rabbit hole by them telling us what's going on. And people don't pay attention to what's really happening. They listen to the tell lie vision to tell them exactly what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to hear, what they're supposed to think, and what they're supposed to believe. And half of the country is awake right now. That's why you have Trump right now as president. And people
I
are looking at this, waking up, going, wait a minute, we don't want what we have right now. And the media is one of the biggest tools they use. It's the Mockingbird media. They get their talking points every morning at 4 a.m.
what's your what you were saying about turn off the TV? I disagree with.
I'm not
Once
saying
you
turn off your TV. I'm saying watch what you watch. Watch what
what
you
I,
listen to.
what I'm saying is that kind of the same thing, but it's once your eyes are opened,
You can't
then you
unsee it.
can watch all the TV because it will validate what we're saying. It'll validate what you find out. So it's always important to have the intelligence of what the enemy is doing and thinking and saying. So that's how I look. That's how I watch that television,
Yep.
is to watch the enemy.
That's a
So
great way. That's a great way of putting it. Just don't. And nowadays, I mean, they'll put stuff on and they'll show you explosions in Ukraine or whatever. It could be something from 10 years ago that never happened, to help get your emotions up, so that you're upset. And then we divide the entire country that way because some people believe it and some people actually go and do research and look it up. And that leads you
Eh,
to Grok also, Charlie, because Grok leans to not telling you
well,
the truth. But if you ask it specific questions, like I did today about color revolutions, you'll find out that it's like, I agree with you. I left out this part, or I did this, or well, how would you handle it? Not start to ask me how I'd handle it. I'm going, wow, I can tell you, Grok, how I'd handle it. So, Charlie, let's go on to point four, because I know you and I
yep,
have a hard
yep.
stop today.
Well, point three is destabilize the existing system, and that's part of what you're talking about.
They've
Is getting
destabilized it and your
and
financial system.
right, right, and AI will help do that. But it's going on right now in the resistance of ice and all of that. They want to get it to a point where the public is begging for someone to come in and stop the problem,
Right.
and that's where a tyrant can come in and stop the problem. And but they're not at that point yet, but they're pushing us there. And then once they do that, they've effectively overthrown the system. That's point four. With whatever it takes to cause you to be safe. Now that means giving up your freedoms.
All of
So
it.
be it. That's it. And then point five is they'll install a new system. Once they have the controls and the levers, you still won't see the who's running it, who's behind the curtain until point six. That's when they come out from behind the curtain.
Let me
And
add
then,
one thing, Charlie. You know what they
yeah,
call this, people? They call it frog in a pot. They put you into
yes,
that pot years ago, all of us, and some people woke up. This is why we're doing these
you
podcasts.
you turn the
And
temperature
they
up
turn the heat
slow.
up a little so you don't notice it, kind of like inflation. Does inflation ever go backwards? No.
No, not seeing it. Anyway, those
You get more
steps are
rights.
the framework of the color revolution, and and we need to recognize that that's going on, and that's being pushed by many of our enemies, not just one, because the globalists, the Marxists, the Islamists, all of them work with the
Lockstep.
idea that the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're friends, frenemies right now until the stuff hits the fan. Then they'll have to fight among themselves over the ashes. But
And
that's
they're
what they're
willing to
after.
do it. They will burn the whole thing down just to fight
Yeah.
over the ashes. You know what
But
this
anyway, that
reminds me of? Charlie, this
what?
reminds me of the Pogo cartoon. Remember Pogo?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
seen the enemy, and
And
it
big
is
as
us.
us.
So you've
Yeah.
got one faction that wants to destroy everything, and then you got the other faction that wants to save it, and then you got some people in the middle that are going, well, whatever you tell me to do. This is not the time for us to sit around going, well, okay, just take my freedoms. Anytime a freedom is taken, you're never going to get it back. And that's what
Yeah.
we're working on right now. And that's part of the, hopefully, the power of these podcasts.
God gave us the gift of our Constitution
Yeah.
and what the founders did. So let's preserve it.
Let me add
So
something, Charlie. And I
go
heard
ahead.
this morning. You and I talked about it earlier. There's something that came out because we follow a lot of stuff. We know what's going on with AI, or have a pretty good idea how that's going to control us, where we don't have to think anymore. It'll think for you. Bad idea. But in New York, when you're talking about the Second Amendment, they're going to push a law that basically says if you get hit for red flag law, that if somebody calls the police department and they come for domestic violence, they're going to take your guns. I mean, that's just one of the things,
Yeah.
and if people are allowed to use their Second Amendment, which shall not be infringed, they put up little mandates that say, well, you can only use it here, you can only take it there, you can only have it here or have it there. So imagine going on a trip and going from store to store to store and stopping in and grabbing something to eat and not being able to go. And my thought, like you and I talked about earlier, is if I can't carry it, I just won't buy from any place I can't go.
Yeah.
That'll change things real quick, won't it? Money talks, BS
Yep.
walks.
Yep. Yep. Okay, let's go on to the next topic that we have.
Well, this leads us right into the government shutdown and control on a color revolution. And I'll start us off here, Charlie. We're looking at a government shutdown that I'm hearing, especially on Facebook. I grew up in Baltimore, and I make no bones about the fact that I am a Christian conservative. And I went to a conservative school, a liberal school. Didn't know what that was back in the day, but a lot of my friends that I went to school with are posting things online about what Trump is doing with the White House and how we're supposed to take care of all of these people. And the Republicans and the Democrats are both responsible for shutting down the government. When we did the new bill that just came out is just a continuing resolution to keep the government open. What the Democrats are stomping their feet about, and we've gone through this now. I think we've had 11 votes on this, Charlie. 11 votes so
Right,
far,
right.
and they want not just to keep the government open, $1.5 trillion for things that have absolutely nothing to do with the government being open. I mean,
They want to
nothing.
cancel Doge.
They want, right. You cancel this and you give all this money away to these people and handle this and give us LGBTQ in the Balkans and there's so many different things to name. You can't even name them all, but it's
PBS.
$1.5 trillion worth of pork. And here's the sad thing. It's not going to those countries. They are out of money to do your color revolution, Charlie. So they need that $1.5 trillion to use to come back against us,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the regular American people. So if you want to go out there and you want to give away all your freedoms, go vote for Spamberger this year. Go vote blue. Go vote blue. See how it works out for you in another year. But when something happens, don't call us.
When you look at what the Republicans are asking to do, it's the same things that Democrats
Done
did
for years.
11 times, I think, under Biden. Um, they they passed a clean
Continuing
continuing
resolution. Nice and
resolution,
clean.
nice and clean. And the Republicans said, okay, go ahead. This time, the Republicans are passing a clean continuing resolution, and the Democrats are screaming bloody murder, and because that's their only leverage. Now, they want to have chaos. They want to have that disruption. They want the people of the color revolution to be in the streets, grassroots, screaming about Trump. And Trump has nothing to do with it.
Has nothing to do with it.
It's the Democrats in the Senate, and but the media, the the biased media, is saying it's the Republicans,
Right.
and it's not. It's the Republicans are doing what the Democrats did, passing a clean resolution to keep the government open.
Yep.
But the media is telling the sheeple otherwise.
Let me give you a couple examples, Charlie. Okay. $1.5 trillion demands. Now, this is to keep the government open for the United States of America. Okay.
Until
Just us.
November 21st.
Right. And they're going to meet again on the 15th because there's a lot of things. The ACA is wrapped into that too. We're going to cover that too. $200 billion for health care benefits for illegal aliens. We have Americans that are on the streets right now. We have repeal of a $50 billion rural hospitals fund. That goes again. I mean, seriously, permanent COVID subsidies without reforms. This is just a few of them. $500 million for liberal news outlets. So they want your NPR and all the other mockingbird media that are feeding you bullcrap to stay open. $4 million for global, not America, global LGBTQ awareness program. That they're not getting any money for that. It's going to their pockets to fight us. $4 million for LGBTQOI democracy grants in the Balkans. Let me ask a question. Anybody watching, does anybody know where the Balkans are? I'll be willing to bet that 99.9% of you are going, I didn't even know there was a Balkans. How about $2 million for feminist democratic principles in Africa?
Oh, good.
I mean, the list goes on. There's $1.5 trillion. All we're trying to do is make sure that legal people have their SNAP benefits. They can get health care. They can, our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the people that protect our country are taken care of, that the government stays open. Okay. This isn't the one big, beautiful bill. This is just a continuing resolution to keep the government open for a couple months. And the Democrats are standing on this to screw you and
Yeah.
me. And we're not standing for it.
And it's just purely for political purposes.
All political.
Yeah, it's
So
really sad.
there's your people, guys. Those are the people that you pay taxes to. And I can never understand how somebody can get a salary of $170,000 a year and end up with $56 million. I wish my job, I worked my tail off as a sales rep, and they gave me a $40,000 base salary and some benefits, and the rest of it was commission. If I never knew I could make $56 million, but then again, boy, that's one heck of a job, isn't it? But if you're
It
getting
is.
that kind of money, there's something wrong. There's something definitely wrong. And they don't care about you people. They do not care about you. They care about them. They do not care about you. Once you figure out that they don't care about you, we'll all be in a better place.
At least we'll be aware and able to see what's going on. I mean,
Do research, people.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
go
yeah.
on Rumble, go on YouTube, go find some places, go look at different podcasters that are out there. Steve Bannon's War Room, X22. There's a show called And We Know, Awakened Truth. What's it? Winston Marshall. Winston Marshall is in England, for goodness sakes. Okay, and there's different people from different countries that are looking in and telling you what they're seeing. Okay, so you can
Yeah,
find news
I
from
would, I
all
would,
over the
inc
world.
I would include Wendy Bell, Glenn Beck.
Wendy Bell, Chris
Yeah,
Plant,
yeah, yeah.
Glenn Beck,
Mark Levin.
Mark Levin. There's a lot of people out there right now, people that actually understand it. But if you're only going to get your news from MSNBC, and believe me, I watch MSNBC, I watch CNN because I want to know, I want to line up what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing with what they're saying. And the
And
two,
and
never
and
the
it
two shall meet.
and it helps to be able to put our arguments together by
Right.
knowing the idiocy that they're pushing.
There's a book called Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And that's
Yes.
literally what Trump is using right now. Okay. And sometimes you have to kind of, you know, fudge things a little bit so that you get the way you need it to go. And the Democrats are really, really good at it. And I'm not going to pick on just the Democrats because there's a lot of Republicans that are getting millions and millions and how many got money from USAID, Charlie, or AIPAC? Okay. They're all connected
Yeah.
to that. They're all getting money for a vote. And it's not to help you, it's to help their pockets, not
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah, sometimes it's so as innocuous as a simple corporate donation to a campaign,
Absolutely.
not necessarily in their pockets. There's also insider information that comes to Congress, so they know before things happen,
Get
and
the bet
then
on.
they go buy stock and benefit that way.
Take
You
it a
know,
step further, Charlie. Look at what's happened with the NBA.
go
All of
ahead.
the cheating in the NBA, all of the card swiping and card point shaving and
A fake
athletes,
injury to add a
fake
certain number.
injuries. I mean, come on. And they're going to find it. That was just the beginning. You're going to see it in baseball, football, college ball. They all make money screwing us. And that's part of the reason why Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries started doing what we're doing, because we want to make sure that people at least look at what's going on. So,
Yeah,
Charlie, we covered color revolution.
Yep.
We covered a little bit about the government shutdown, and hopefully, I do want to cover real quick um, this SNAP program, and this is just a warning. There are 41 million people that we know of that are on SNAP. There are warnings all over the place right now to be careful out there on what is going on. People are doing snatch and grab with people with groceries. That's coming November 1st.
In
A
the
lot of the
parking
money
lot of the grocery store.
at the grocery stores are being
So
picked off. If you don't
keep your
think
head
so,
on a
just look at
swivel.
Chicago,
Yeah.
Portland, Minnesota. I mean, they don't care. Okay. If you're in a situation where you work in one of these stores and somebody comes in and does a snatch and grab, or somebody wants to steal your groceries, for God's sakes, let them have the groceries. Okay. We had a big meeting on this last night, but there are 41 million people between 4.8 and 21.4% of each state, depending on where you are, is on a SNAP program. Think about that. 41 million out of 330 something million people are on the take. Now, that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that some people aren't, they don't need it. We're supposed to take care of our poor and our downtrodden and people that are in hard times. That's what we're supposed to do, but not by giving $1.5 trillion away to LGBTQ fake news in the Balkans or Africa. Um, Another piece to this is in Virginia alone, there are 850,000 people that are on the SNAP program. We're not sure whether or not the benefits that people got the prior month will carry over into November. So we're just letting people know to keep your head on a swivel, keep your powder dry. As we say, use your ABCs. I won't say what that is here. Always have something with you. Have 5 tools with you. Make sure you have your cordless hole puncher. Make sure that you have your radio. Make sure you have um, your pocket knife with you in case something happens. Make sure you have a couple things with you in case something happens. You've got
Be
to
prepared.
be prepared. Keep your head on a swivel and be mindful of some of the people that are around you that may be struggling, that might be on food stamps, that legitimately get them, that need some help. Feed them, help them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're neighbors. That's what Mount Patriots is all about. Helping people that need it, not having people take it from us and say we're going to give it to somebody else. So we have a couple
Yeah.
minutes, Charlie. We wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with ACA and healthcare too, didn't we?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about how I see things evolving. In the past, the distant past, um, we all had employer given provided health care.
Right.
And there was this thing called catastrophic health care that you could buy real cheap. It wouldn't start until you ended up paying out ten, $12,000, and then you'd be covered for that stuff above it. It seems to me what happened is they took away the basic health care, took the catastrophic care, and made ACA out of it.
Worse.
You have to have horrendously large deductibles met before you get the benefits of it, and that forces a lot of people to forego health care entirely. It's really a bad situation when we have the government running the healthcare business, and that's largely where we are. Combination of the government and the insurance companies.
Well, let's take it a step
Dana,
further.
you've been in this for a long time.
I've been in this
Um,
for 26 years, almost
give us
26
give
years.
us your perspective.
Um, I'm a compliance guy. I hate that word. I know about ERISA, HIPAA, COBRA, family medical leave, flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts, health reimbursement accounts, name it. I was an expert in it for years. Certified healthcare reform specialist. I happened to be at a corporate meeting back in 2000, March 23rd of 2010, when they passed the ACA. And a lot of us didn't think it was going to happen. It is the worst thing that's ever happened to this country. if you don't want to buy something, you shouldn't have to buy it. And what they did with this thing is, if you want your doctor, you can keep it. If you want your health care, you can keep it. It's going to be better. It's going to be more affordable. It has been way past
None of those.
unaffordable. Affordable. It was passed on March 23rd of 2010. The Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, where you could go to the exchanges and so forth. None of it worked. They threw billions and billions and billions of dollars into it, and it became a death care system. So uh, the individual mandate Trump eliminated years ago because it's not constitutional to say to somebody, okay, if you don't want this, you have to buy it. Okay. The same thing happened with the jab, people. If you're not awake from that, if you're not awake from ACA, they just did it to you again. Oh, if you want to keep your job, you have to take this injection. Okay. And you have to get more injections and you have to wear a mask and you have to take this and you have to do that, or you can't come to work because of this or that. They are eliminating your rights. So I've spent a lot of time in the healthcare field. I've worked with healthcare insurance brokers. I've worked with the major companies. We call it BUCA, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United, Cigna, Aetna. The whole idea is to keep people out of compliance so that you have to pay fines and everything else. I'll share this with you, and this is from personal experience and things that I'm just seeing that are happening in the essence of time. I have back problems. A lot of people know that. And I go see somebody every few months. What I've watched happening is, first off, you can't afford insurance. If my wife and I on Blue Cross Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, to have a decent deductible would pay $24,000 a year. I don't know how many people have an extra $24,000 a year. On top of that, you end up with a health savings account with a $7,500 out of pocket, some kind of deductible. We've changed our health care. So a lot of people right now are stuck. They're not getting the medications that they need. Trump is trying to do a lot of stuff with the medications to make sure that people are healthy. We're going to see. But there is in this one big, not just the one big beautiful bill, the resolutions and so forth that are coming up. Obamacare was originally just put together, and this is just do your own research, was to take control of your health care, your sick care, so that the sicker you are, the more controllable you are. The same thing happens with your food. The same thing happens with your water. It's the same thing. What Charlie and I are working on, and Mountain Patriots, we're working on healthcare wellness programs. If we stay healthy and well, the odds of us getting sick are decreased, for lack of better terms. But I go to the doctor. Okay, this is how screwy it is. This is what we pay for. I have a doctor's appointment this morning at 9:30. I get a text message that says confirm this. A couple of days ago, I confirm it. Get to my appointment at 9:15. Get a text message that says show up at 9:15 for a 9:30 appointment. Show up at the 9:11. They check me in while I'm sitting in the office. It says you have a 9:45 appointment. Check in by 9:30. I'm going, wait a second. I've just gotten 3 different messages here that are telling me when to check in, when to check out. I sit down with the doctor. He goes through things. They're telling me that their whole system is screwed up. The whole system is screwed up. We don't control that. We don't do this. Then there's a bill. Now, I've paid the copay, but now you owe $42 more because you've got balance billing. And you're going, wait a second. How many people understand how their health care works? You don't. And the more confused you are, the more it will cost you, the sicker and more mentally screwed you become. We're going to do
I've gotten bills from doctors I've never heard of.
Well, exactly. Well, each doctor, if you go to the hospital, you get doctors from all kinds of different tiers. So you got the
Yes.
emergency room, you got the anesthesiologist, and you're standing there doing this. What we're putting together, and I'll just give you a precursor to it because we'll do a whole meeting on this. We're putting together a serious health care, real care plan where people can spend as little as $2,500, what we call a PRA, a principal responsibility amount. that $2,500 can go towards holistics, my gym membership, my vitamins, and so forth to keep me healthy. Okay. My out of pocket maximum is about $7,500 plus my premiums. So for about $15,000 on a bad year, I actually have care. The other piece of this thing that the ACA did was they took all of the doctors that used to be out there and they sucked them all into one spot. They sucked them all into one spot. So my doctor that used to have a brick and mortar ended up being sucked in. And they actually, folks, get paid to and incentivized to give you a lot of stuff that doesn't work. And then you end up in the revolving door. So I go from my endocrinologist to my dermatologist to my ologist to my oncologist. And the next thing I know is I'm going to see the funeral director, but I have no money left. Okay. About 32%. I have to remember to do this right. I think 32% of bankruptcies are because of the medical field, a medical bankruptcy, because people don't know what they're doing, what they're getting, and they can't afford what they have. So we'll be working on quite a few things. We have a product right now called Patriots on Call where we can get medications in 15, 20 minutes by talking to a doctor on the phone. We have something for mental health. Mental health has gotten exceedingly busy. Okay, everybody has a mental health program out there. But what scares me most, Charlie, about the mental health program is we would be going to see somebody for mental health that has absolutely no idea of what's going on. Those people can break down. They go, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that are going on. I did talk to a counselor a couple months ago, and I said to him, Doc, what's going on in the medical field right now? He says, this is what I see. We are extremely busy, and a lot of the people now that are working and come to see us, and I'm going to use his terminology, are soulless. Soulless.
Right.
This is a friend of mine who's a licensed psychiatrist. I said, what do you mean by soulless? There's no empathy. Something is completely missing. So we're going to be doing things to try to mitigate some of these problems. We're moving into a whole new system. But one thing I forgot to say is the ACA was only designed to last about 16, 17, 18 years before it imploded. Okay. When the ACA started, my benefits, let's go back 20 years. My benefits cost me $600 a month for a 90-10 plan with $1,000 deductible, and it covered 5 people in my family. $1,000 deductible, 90-10 plan. Okay.
They pay 90%.
They pay 90%. I pay 10%. Okay. up to $2,000, up to $2,000. My prescriptions were $10 each, and it was about $596 a month. Now, a planned a $10,000 deductible. When I work with the brokers, a $10,000 deductible for a family of 4. You're looking at about $25,000 a year for a $10,000 deductible. I mean, it depends on what company that you go with. And these poor business owners that want to give health care, they can't afford it. So you've got the entire government running your health care, running your minimum wage, running everything about your business. And then they try to make sure that you're compliant with ERISA, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, for your health insurance benefits, as well as your retirement plans. Okay. And then you have OSHA on top of it. The whole idea is the destruction of the United States of America. So I'm going to leave it there and say, if you want to keep your country, pay attention to the people that you are putting into office. Do some research on what's going on. Don't trust a lot of the things you see and hear. A lot of the things, as we spoke to about last night, were on AI. I watched a clip from Gary Hamrick of Cornerstone Church, and it was a parody. It was a parody. Yeah. So you see him speaking at the church, and then they did this little commercial of all this made up stuff, but you would have sworn it was Gary Hamrick.
He spoke in Korean in
Korean and
Spanish
Spanish,
and several others, and it was all fake. But
and it
his
was all
mouth was
fake.
right in line with the words, and it wasn't real. In fact, the guy talking said, my boss isn't that good."
Right,
It was
right,
funny.
and his mustache. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
it was
But
funny. But we'll share things
but
like that. I'll see if I can put that in the description
no,
box.
the whole idea is question everything and
Everything.
be skeptical. There's a deficit of skepticism as well as a deficit of curiosity. We shouldn't take the word of it. We should be curious enough to go dig in and find more information about it. And the more we do that, the better off we are. And that's what Mountain Patriots um, is basically operating with is more and better information. So and that and like-minded people that know they need to be prepared, um, know they need to help others, know they need to respect the Constitution of the United States, um, know they need to have a spiritual, um, biblical worldview, as did our founders,
Yep,
in order for us to keep this grand experiment going that's called the United States of America. Um, there's hope out there. The more we know, the more we can share of what we know, the more people's eyes are open, and the less they can get away with it. So,
absolutely. Charlie, can you see my screen?
yes,
Okay, folks, we're going to leave you with this today. Uh, question everything. Go out and vote. We're in Virginia.
yes.
If you're not gonna vote red, or you're dead. Okay, your rights are going. Okay, this is not just about women's rights and right to your body. This is so many different things. This is taxes. This is transportation. This is your Second Amendment. This is freedom. Okay, and they're going to take it. As a matter of fact, Obama is down here with, I think, boot edge, stumping for Spam Burger Meister. So this is the Mountain Patriots website. We want you to go to, if you have any questions, you can email us at mtpatriots@proton.me. This is put together by my incredible wife, Barbara. But this gives you a little idea on what's going on. We have a homepage here, folks. If you want to find any of our videos or anything that we're doing, you can watch on Rumble. You can watch on YouTube. We have so many different videos that are up here. If you go to our Rumble or YouTube page, you'll find all of our conferences. We're doing what we're doing today and probably next week before the elections, but we're going to be going into our 250th anniversary. And Mountain Patriots, we're patriots. We love this country. We'll be doing the Mountain Patriots Educational Ministry Historical Podcast, MAPPA, Make Americans Patriotic Again. This is for our 250th anniversary. We want people that are to first off like this, comment on what you see. Please share this anywhere and everywhere, because we can touch people all over the country with a lot of the things that we're talking about. But here's the opportunity for you to be a star too and be part of history. We need moms, dads, kids, teachers, business owners, history buffs to bring their historical perspective to our podcast. We want to interview George Washington. We want to interview Thomas Paine. We want to interview Betsy Ross, Teddy Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, George Washington Carver, anybody that you can think of. We're going to be doing this, and this is something that can not only go for the first 200 for our 250th anniversary, but we can continue this and bring our kids up on what it is to be an American, what it is to be a patriotic part of the greatest country in the world. So please go sign up. There's a little sign up sheet. What character would you like to portray? Fill it in. We'll get back to you. Our videos are all here. These are our latest videos. You just click on it and you can find everything. We do have our elections coming up. Please take a look at people like Mike Guvermont and Brian Erskine, Bob Liero, Bill Wiley, Chris Grassmuck. I can go on and on and on at the different people. Chad DeHaven. We did interviews for you so you understand what these people are doing. There are 7 different ministries on here. If you're interested in Mountain Patriots, come check out our education ministry and get involved. Our kids are learning garbage, people. They're learning garbage. Our spiritual ministry, our Black Robe Regiment, the Constitution, and how we teach that. Our civil defense ministry, which we may need after November 1st. Okay, be careful out there. Our preparedness ministry, learn anywhere from first aid to food supply, food, water, shelter, emergency power. Our community ministry, which is distributing food, disaster emergencies, human trafficking, opposing that, being mentally tough, vet vendors, and our health ministry, making sure that you're healthy. We encourage vitamins, supplements, mental toughness, home remedies, and so forth. So take a look at the Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries. We'll go back to our homepage. Take a look at what's going on. And we also have a book. It's in the book. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's John 8:32. We have a book called The Thinking Prepper. It was written by our late, great, incredible friend. God, we miss him so much. Rick Choi. We have his book on sale for $24.95 on anything you could possibly need to know in a prep situation. So come on out, check out Mountain Patriots, look at our mission, so help support our mission. It costs us a lot of money to do all this, and any donations that you guys could make would be great. And at that, I'm going to turn it over to Charlie for his final thoughts as well.
Yeah, thanks, Dana. You said it well, and I've stumbled onto this when I met you at another meeting.
Shenandoah, let's give him a kudos.
Shenandoah Christian Alliance, right?
Absolutely. Dale Carpenter and the Liberty Man, Larry Johnson, who will be on as the Liberty Man in our historical podcast.
Yeah, and it was exactly what I was looking for, and it goes beyond just the simple Republican committee.
Right.
So we're conservative, Christian
family,
and that's the whole of it. And we have something we call the Patriots Prayer, and I'd like to share that with you as we close out today.
We want to thank everybody. Real quick final thoughts, Charlie. Please, folks, make comments. Okay. If we miss something and you want us to cover something, make a comment. Please like this because it helps the algorithms. Share it out to as many people as you can. When we send it out, just copy, paste it, and put, hey, you got to watch this. Okay, so copy, like, share, and subscribe. And we are a ministry, and we do have Charlie's going to read our Charlie written Mountain Patriots Prayer. We didn't grok this, people. It comes from the soul and the heart. So, Charlie, without any further ado, let's take us out with the prayer today.
Okay, let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful world and this country that you've given us, and the patriots who are willing to care for it. Thank you for inspiring our founders to create this beautiful republic. Please help us to keep it as the aspiring place to live. Please give us the wisdom to do the right things, the common sense to judge wisely, the energy to never give up, and your unending grace in which we take comfort. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Charlie, thank you very much. Have a very blessed day. I will catch you later on this afternoon. Everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe, make a comment. And as we always say at Mountain Patriots, as Rick would say, this one, it's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. Have a blessed day, everybody.
God bless.